programming staff in Yerevan that could do the technical work to do that, and that institution served the entire Soviet Union. So,
and now it's no more.
The institution exists. They still sell their services to exported countries that still have the same type of equipment and need the maintenance service or need the programming services or something like that. But you know, that is being phased out, and other technologies are coming forward. And I think their last hurrah was year 2000, where you had to set all the things for 2000, 2001, so on and so forth. There's still a small market for it, but it's very small. But they do service that market. Any other questions? Yes.
You mentioning about technology and things. These are basic things in this country, but I think that we have to keep the perspective that the more technology, the more IT, whatever it is, it's not necessarily such a good thing. For example, we spend here, students here and workers spend so much time on this, on their computers, on their wireless devices. What ends up happening is people turn into robots. So in a way, Armenians are kind of immune somewhat. They think, they work. So just keep that in perspective.
Okay, I don't know if you could hear the question, the point, but he's basically saying that in America we're becoming zombified, sitting in front of our computers all day. And that's a fair paraphrase of what you're saying. I mean, you were more eloquent than I am being. But that, I agree with that. I agree with that. And Armenia does have somewhat of an advantage, especially in the agricultural sector, where they are producing this stuff using organic methods that the rest of the world is now going back to this idea that for health reasons and all these other reasons, we need to go back and do that. We can't be driving produce all across the country while it's ripening in the truck that has tremendous disadvantages in nutrition and other things like that. So yeah, I don't look at information technology or technology in general as a savior. It is just one of many things that you can do. And if you have people that have a knack for doing it, yeah, go ahead and do it. But their agriculture and tourism and our other sectors that you can be progressive. And IT is just one of a very complex economy, and the fact that they're not at the bleeding edge of it is not necessarily a disadvantage.
Well,
yes.
IT is important, but it facilitates businesses and industries and other things. IT on its own, it's not an end, I think. It's more a medium to do other things, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't have it in this talk, but basically Armenia runs a cash economy. What's a credit card? What's a check? You go to the bank, you ask them how much is your gas bill. They don't mail bills. They look it up on the computer. They say you owe 3,000 dram, well, that's in the summer. You owe 15,000 dram for gas this much. I don't know how the Armenians afford that. You pay them, they give you change, they write out cash receipt, you stamp it, you take it home, you file it, so in case somebody comes asking, yes, you did pay your gas bill. So you don't own a computer, nobody mails you anything, you don't pay your bills over the web, you don't use a credit card. It's a cash-based economy, and all the accounting is done on paper books. So they don't demand IT like we demand IT. On this chart, I just want to point out that as far as competition in telecommunications is concerned, Armenia has got it in spades over us. They have 3 carriers, a market of about 350,000 people if you count people that are in Karabakh, because I don't think that's counted in the 2.9 million. And there are less than 1 million carriers per subscriber, whereas here we've got 5 carriers, they got 6 million carriers per subscriber. There isn't a whole lot of competition going on in this country, and you've probably been paying attention to what the FCC is saying about that. You mentioned Korea is having more competition. You know what the consequences of that are.
There's a 4th one, right? There's Orange now, too.
That's the 3rd one, yeah. It's Beeline Visit. Apaga is the name for Orange in Armenia. Apaga means future, and there are billboards that are out there saying, or there were, when I left in November, there was billboards saying starting November 5th. So, I think since we're running short on time, thank you for the questions. I want to talk about two, I think, our forward-looking ideas and what we need to think about is, number one, this is the gospel according to Jason Polkazarian, okay? You're not going to find, you'll find material to back this up, and you'll find people that say a similar thing, but these are my words and I take full responsibility for them. And it's a statement of opinion, not a scholarly research fact. But anyways, Armenia is beyond the point where they need gifts. They're out of this area where there was a tremendous earthquake, where the government was collapsing, where they didn't have electricity at night, and so on and so forth. In Gyumri, electricity was 98, 99% reliable. I may have been out of electricity 4 or 8 hours a month. I can live with that. I may have been out of gas 4 or 8 hours a month. Same for water. I can live with those kinds of things. It's not 99.9999 like here, but they're beyond the point where they need a handout, a gift. They need work. There are people that are leaving. They're not leaving because they don't love their country, they don't love their family, they don't get along with other people. They're leaving because they have no other alternative. They don't have a job. So as you get involved with Armenia, my personal suggestion is that you focus not on giving primarily, although we need to give to the elderly for food banks and for and for disaster relief and so on and so forth. But you start thinking about loans and investments. And the Terpanjan Rural Development Center found that their success rate, actual projects getting completed, increased tremendously when they started charging a small fee for people to attend classes, because then only people that were interested in the material paid the fee and came to class. And they made loans instead of grants for business, because nobody took out a low-cost loan unless they were pretty darn sure that they were going to be successful with the money. So we're beyond this point of needing to give out gifts to where we need to think about loans and investments and working with organizations that do loans and investments to bring the country forward. And as I say, Japan Rural Development Center and CARD are just two examples. Also, if you're going to be involved with this in the country, get involved with a partner team. Don't do it by yourself. What I mean by that, plug in with an organization that is on the ground, investing their own money in developing the country. I've given you two examples already, USDA with CARD and AUA with TRDC. Let me give you two more. The German Technical Corporation for Cooperation is a quasi-government German company that has a lot of engineering support, and they go into Armenia and they evaluate projects. And then, if they greenlight a project, the German bank called KfW makes investments, and they're investing 100 million euros in Armenia this year. So it's a significant amount of investment. Vivacell is a telephone carrier, mobile phone company in Armenia. They are reaching out to the various regions, and for every single Mars that's in there, they've got one school that they've partnered with. So there's one in Shirak region, one in Lori, Mars, one in Gerak, Munich, Mars, so on and so forth. There's at least one school that they are sending their employees out, that they're bringing the students into their place of work, that they're doing internships, apprenticeships, and that kind of a thing. And the partnership has been very successful. Now there are others, but the partnership idea is the way forward. If you have an international partner, there are a lot of advantages. One is you can avoid customs and taxes, because they have probably worked in agreement with the Armenian government that for the projects that this international organization sponsors, you don't have to pay customs on equipment that's imported, and you don't have to pay taxes, value-added tax in some cases, other kinds of tax in other cases, on the project itself. They will also provide you with professional expertise, and they can kind of be there as a buffer during a recession or some other bad time to help out. And as we've talked about earlier, and this gentleman in the back noted, there are some people in the country that, I'll just refer to them as operatives, that they will only promote something if they receive a benefit. Otherwise, they won't promote it. So let's look at investment and let's look at partnerships as a way of moving forward.